7 new air travel tips you need to know before your next flight. Airports can be overwhelming. You've got the crowds, the lines, the stress of getting there on time, and the constant fear that you'll mess up something small and it'll ruin your entire trip. And here's the kicker. The rules and hacks for air travel are changing all the time. What worked last year might be completely outdated now. But here's the good news. This week alone, travelers have uncovered and shared a bunch of brand new tips that hardly anyone knows about yet. Some of these are so surprising, you won't even believe they're true until you try them yourself. So in this video, we're diving into 7 brand new air travel tips that could save you time, money, and embarrassment before your next flight. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be flying smarter than 99% of passengers in the terminal. Let's start with a hack that's gone viral on TikTok, and it could save you from one of the most hated parts of the airport, the security line. Number 1. Hidden fast-track lane at Stansted Airport. Now, if you've ever flown out of London Stansted, you know the pain. The security line can feel like it's stretching all the way back to the car park. You shuffle forward a few inches at a time, desperately checking the clock, wondering if you're going to miss your flight. It's the kind of stress that can ruin the start of your holiday. But recently, a traveler posted on TikTok about a little-known fast-track hack at Stansted, and it blew up. Instead of heading straight into the main cattle queue, they turned right and walked down what looked like a fast-track lane. Here's the twist. The middle section of that lane is actually open to all passengers. No extra fee, no fancy status needed, you just have to know it exists. And the difference? Massive. People in the comments said they went from waiting nearly an hour to being through in less than 10 minutes. One guy even bragged that he went from check-in desk to duty-free in record time, while everyone else was still snaking back and forth in line. Now, let's be clear. This isn't some shady trick where you're breaking rules. You're not cutting in line illegally. It's just that most people don't realize the layout of the security lanes allows this shortcut, and the airport doesn't exactly put up signs pointing it out. The key here is confidence. If you hesitate, you'll look out of place. But if you walk down that lane like you belong there, 9 times out of 10, you'll breeze through while hundreds of others are still waiting. Think of it this way. Airports are designed with layers of options, fast track, premium lanes, regular lanes, and sometimes those lines cross over in ways that aren't obvious. Stansted just happens to be one of those airports where a little knowledge gives you a huge advantage. And before you say, well, that's just Stansted, here's the bigger picture. These kinds of hidden fast tracks exist at other airports too. Travelers on Reddit have pointed out similar quirks at JFK, LAX, and even Sydney, where certain security lanes funnel into the same scanner but with drastically different wait times. So the real lesson? Don't just follow the herd. Look around. Sometimes the shortest line isn't the obvious one. And knowing where to walk could save you from the nightmare of sprinting to your gate at the last minute. Number 2. Beware of the luggage tag scam. Here's something almost no one thinks about. Your old baggage tags. You know those little paper stickers the airline prints and wraps around your bag handle? Most of us just peel them off and toss them in the nearest airport bin without a second thought. But recently, an airport baggage claims manager went viral on Reddit for warning travelers about a growing scam that uses those exact tags. Here's how it works. Scammers collect discarded luggage tags from trash cans around airports. Those tags still have your flight number, date, and sometimes even part of your booking reference. Criminals then use that info to file fake lost luggage claims with airlines, pretending they were the passenger. If the airline compensates them, you, the real traveler, could be left in a messy dispute. Think that sounds far-fetched? According to this airport worker, it's happening more often than you'd expect, especially at big hubs where thousands of tags pile up every day. One traveler even shared that they were questioned by their airline about a supposed lost luggage reimbursement request they never filed. Imagine trying to prove you didn't make a claim, all because you left your tag in the trash by gate 17. And here's the kicker. Those tags sometimes carry barcodes tied to your personal booking data. With a quick scan, a scammer could pull up details about your flight history, maybe even your frequent flyer account if the system links it. That's not just money on the line, that's a potential privacy breach. So what should you do instead? Remove and dispose of your baggage tags at home, not in the airport bin where anyone can grab them. A quick shred, cut, or even ripping the barcode into pieces is enough to make it useless. Think of it like shredding a bank statement. It's small, but it protects you from a much bigger headache later. And if you want an extra layer of safety, consider using reusable luggage tags with covers that hide barcodes. They're cheap, durable, and make your bag stand out on the carousel. This is one of those tips that seems obvious once you hear it, but almost no one is doing it. Yet it could save you from a scam that's only going to get worse as more criminals catch on. Number 3. Biometric eGates replacing TSA checks. Picture this. You roll up to security at one of the busiest airports in the US, like Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson. Normally, you'd be bracing yourself for the whole routine. Show your ID, hand over your boarding pass, shuffle forward, wait for the TSA agent to scan it, maybe get quizzed about where you're heading. 10 minutes gone, easy. But now, for some passengers, that step has been cut down to less than 6 seconds. This summer, Clear Plus quietly rolled out biometric eGates at ATL, and they're already changing the way travelers move through airports. Instead of fumbling for your driver's license or passport, you step up to a sleek-looking kiosk. A camera scans your face, instantly matches it to your booking details, and in the blink of an eye, you're cleared. No TSA officer, no paper shuffling, no, please take your hat off for me, sir. And it's not some distant promise. It's live right now. Travelers have been posting clips showing just how fast it is, literally 3 to 6 seconds from start to finish. That's faster than most people can even dig their wallet out of their bag. Here's why it matters. The US has been testing biometric boarding for years, mostly at international gates. But this is the first time we're seeing it replace the frontline TSA check at security. And Clear has already announced it's coming to Washington, D.C. and Seattle later this month. You can bet that once it proves itself, it'll spread to every major airport. Now, there are two sides to this coin. On one hand, it's a massive time saver. Frequent flyers are calling it a game changer, and one traveler even said they made it from curbside drop-off to their gate in under 15 minutes during peak rush hour. That's unheard of. On the other hand, some people are uneasy about handing over their face scan to a private company and the government. Privacy advocates point out that biometric data isn't just another password you can reset. Once it's in a system, it's permanent. Clear insists they're compliant with all regulations and that your data is secure, but it's a debate that's not going away anytime soon. So here's the takeaway. If you're already a Clear Plus member, this is going to make your life so much easier. If you're not, it may be worth looking into, especially if you fly through Atlanta, D.C., or Seattle often. Just know that you're trading some of your privacy for a huge upgrade in convenience. And for everyone else, don't be surprised when you start seeing these biometric lanes pop up at your home airport. They're here, they work, and they're about to change the airport experience forever. If you're finding these tips helpful, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss the next video. And do me a favor, drop the words airport tips in the comments below. That way, I'll know you made it this far, and I can personally thank you for watching. All right, let's keep going, because this next one is a small change from TSA that might just save you some time, and it's something travelers never thought they'd see. Number 4, keep your shoes on at some security lines. If you've ever flown in the US, you know the drill. Bags on the belt, laptop out, liquids in the bin, and then the most annoying part, shoes off. It doesn't matter if you're wearing sneakers, sandals, or those boots you spent 5 minutes lacing up in the taxi. You've got to take them off and shuffle barefoot through the scanner. It's one of those rules that feels baked into American air travel, all thanks to a single incident more than 2 decades ago. And let's be honest, no one likes it. Not the passengers, not the TSA agents, not the people behind you who have to watch you wobble while pulling off your footwear. But here's the shocker. This Labor Day weekend, at several busy airports, TSA actually let passengers keep their shoes on at certain checkpoints. And no, I'm not talking about TSA pre-check lanes where you already get that perk. I mean, regular security lines, with regular passengers being waved through fully shoed. Why? The crowds were massive. Airports like JFK, LAX, and O'Hare were seeing some of the longest lines of the year. And to keep things moving, TSA made a judgment call. If shoes weren't setting off alarms or looking suspicious, they just let people walk on through. Travelers who experienced it said the line moved so much faster. One passenger at JFK tweeted that they were through security in 12 minutes during peak hours, a process that normally takes half an hour. Another said, "For the first time in my life, TSA made me happy. That's how rare this feels. Now, don't get too excited. This isn't a permanent nationwide policy change yet. TSA hasn't officially announced that the shoe rule is gone. But here's what it does tell us. The agency is under pressure to adapt, and they're willing to test ways to speed things up for everyone, not just those who pay extra for pre-check. So, what's the takeaway for you? Next time you're in a big holiday rush, don't be surprised if an agent waves you through with your shoes on, and keep an eye on this space. If the pilot tests go well, we could be on the cusp of one of the biggest quality of life upgrades in U.S. airport security in years. Imagine, no more holding up the line while you wrestle your boots off. No more walking barefoot on those grimy floors. Just glide through, shoes and all. Travelers have been begging for this for years, and it looks like TSA might finally be listening. Number 5. Don't bring a bulky neck pillow. Okay, let's be honest. We've all seen that one traveler dragging around a giant plush U-shaped neck pillow like it's a fashion accessory. They've got it strapped to their backpack, bumping into people in the security line, or dangling off their suitcase wheel as it picks up every germ on the floor. And here's the truth. Those big neck pillows? They're usually more annoying than they are comfortable. Sure, they look cozy. But try lugging one through the airport for 3 hours and tell me you don't regret it. They take up space, they flop around, and if you're not careful, you end up wearing it the entire trip just to avoid packing it away. Not exactly convenient. But here's the smarter move. Modern inflatable travel pillows. These things have gotten really good in the last couple of years. Some fold up smaller than your phone. Others have clever ergonomic designs that actually support your neck instead of just pushing your head forward. When you're not using it, it tucks away in your carry-on. No awkward dangling, no extra bulk. And here's the pro tip most travelers don't know. Don't blow it up too tight. Cabin pressure at 35,000 feet can make an overinflated pillow expand like a bag of chips. One passenger even joked online that they thought theirs was going to explode mid-flight. All you need is about 80 to 90% inflation before takeoff, and the pillow will naturally firm up once you're in the air. So next time you're tempted to pack that big memory foam monster, think twice. Save the space, save yourself the hassle, and go with something that's actually travel-friendly. It's one of those little swaps that doesn't sound like a big deal, until you're breezing through the airport without a giant cushion strapped to your bag, while everyone else looks like they're carrying their own personal sofa through security. I've linked the one I recommend in the description below. Feel free to check them out. Number 6. The airport theory TikTok trend is a trap. If you've spent any time on TikTok lately, you've probably seen the so-called airport theory. Influencers are out there bragging that you can show up to the airport just 15 minutes before your flight and still make it to the gate on time. They post slick little videos where they roll in casually, bypass the stressed out crowds, and act like they've cracked the code to air travel. It makes for great content. But here's the reality. This is one of the fastest ways to ruin your trip. The TSA's own numbers show that the average security wait in the US right now is 27 minutes. At busy hubs like JFK, LAX, or Chicago O'Hare, it can hit 40 minutes or more during peak travel times. That doesn't even include the time it takes to check your bag or walk to the gate. There was one traveler who actually tried this stunt at JFK after seeing it on TikTok. They showed up about 20 minutes before boarding, only to find the security line wrapped halfway around the terminal. By the time they got through, their flight had already left. They posted their lesson learned story later, basically admitting the trend had cost them hundreds of dollars in rebooking fees. And here's the bigger issue. The people making these viral videos usually aren't taking an average flight on an average day. They're choosing quiet airports, off-peak times, or they're in countries with different systems. It's clickbait designed to look easy, not something you should actually try with your hard-earned vacation. So don't fall for it. You can laugh at the videos, but stick with the tried and true advice. Get to the airport 2 hours before domestic, 3 hours before international. Worst case, you're early. You breeze through security, and you get to relax with a coffee before your flight. Best case, you avoid being that person sprinting through the terminal while your name is being called over the loudspeaker. Because trust me, no TikTok hack is worth being stranded in the terminal while your plane takes off without you. Number 7. Real ID scanner failures in Maine. Here's a tip that caught even seasoned travelers off guard. Imagine you've done everything right. You got to the airport early, your bag is the perfect weight, and you've got your brand new Real ID in hand. The one the government told you was essential for future travel. You step up to the TSA agent, hand it over, and the scanner refuses to read it. That's exactly what's been happening to passengers in Maine. A faulty machine at the DMV printed a batch of real IDs with barcodes that don't scan properly. People were getting stopped, pulled aside, and told their shiny new ID wasn't valid at airport security. Total nightmare, right? The good news is, the DMV admitted the mistake and is offering free replacements for anyone affected. But it's a reminder that even when you follow the rules, tech glitches can mess you up at the airport. So what can you do? Double-check your real ID now. If it's from Maine and printed recently, it could be one of the faulty ones. Bring a backup form of ID when you fly. A passport, an older license, even a military ID. Anything TSA will accept. It might feel like overkill, but it could save your entire trip. And here's the interesting twist. TSA has been piloting biometric ID verification at some checkpoints. Instead of handing over your license, you look into a camera that scans your face and cross-references it with your boarding pass. If that program goes nationwide, stories like this could become a thing of the past. Until then, though, it pays to have a backup plan. Because the last place you want to discover your ID doesn't work is when you're standing at the front of the security line with 200 people waiting behind you. So there you have it. 7 brand new air travel tips that can save you time, money, and stress before your next flight. Some of these are quirky little hacks. Some are warnings you'd never think about, and some are glimpses into how airports are changing right now. Which one surprised you the most? Let me know down in the comments, and if you found this helpful, give the video a like and hit subscribe, because I've got plenty more airport tricks coming your way. The YouTube algorithm also thinks you'll love the video on the end screen. I'll see you over there.